Steph Curry was out, and of course the Warriors got blown out, but it's been a long time coming, and we know how important the fan base is to this team, to this region. And Darrell, I'll start with you. You played here, came over from Miami. You talk about it all the time. When you got here, the fans loved you instantly, and you felt the energy when Dub Nation was in the building.
No question about it. The best fans in the NBA. You know, I played for 4 different teams, and here was the most comfortable I felt as far as being at home. You know, people showing love on the street. So to have the Dub fans back in there, I know it's going to be an exciting night. I wish I was in there a little bit, but I know those players are definitely going to feed off their energy.
Yeah, we have the best fans in the NBA. It's universally stated throughout the league. Everyone knows that. And I think it really helps the Warriors more than it hurts the visiting team because of that energy. And coming off that road trip, that first game back's a tough one. I think they could add a nice jolt of energy tonight for the Warriors.
No doubt about it. And as you mentioned, with the injuries on this basketball team, we know Kent Bazemore and Damian Lee, they're out due to health and safety protocols. Bazemore will miss at least 7 days. Damian Lee a little bit longer here. But JTA, Juan Toscano-Anderson, remember last Saturday night, jumping into the scorer's table to save a ball that led to a Steph Curry 3. He is available after passing concussion protocol. And here's a tweet from Damian Lee the other night. And for those wondering, I did get the vaccine and continue to practice the proper safety protocols. Y'all be blessed and safe out here. So let's bring in Monty Poole here, powered by Cisco WebEx, our Warriors insider here at NBC Sports Bay Area. Monty, health and safety protocols seems to be the theme of the NBA season, and it's really hurt the Warriors this season. The latest cases here being Damian Lee and Kent Bazemore.
Yeah, you know, every team has had some sort of an issue with this, and it was natural. I think the NBA knew that was going to be the case when they started the season. So you look at the Warriors, though, and right now what's happened is that just as they start to get everything in order with their rotations, get their bench squad going, playing well, this is what hits them. I mean, whether it's Juan Toscano-Anderson, who'll be back tonight, but Damian Lee, Kent Bazemore, these are guys that are all in the rotation and that often play minutes with the second unit. That second unit has been dynamite pretty much the last couple weeks. So now, you know, without D. Lee, without Baze, Michael Mulder has to start at 2 guard. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can still keep the momentum going despite having a totally reconfigured second unit.
And you talk about the second unit there, Amadi. The second unit seemed to be fighting its footing and finding the rhythm here, especially with Oubre coming off the bench, 24-9 the other night. How? Will we see GP2 tonight? Will we see Nico Mannion? How does this really affect the second unit, Monty?
I think you have to see GP2 tonight. When you're this short, you know, it'll be great to get JTA back in the lineup and back able on the floor. And, you know, he can put in some minutes at the big spot. It's going to be a challenge, obviously, with Jokić out there. But they need all the size they can get. And JTA is 6'6", but he can play bigger than that. So I think what Steve has to do is as best as possible is make sure that he has enough guys out there that can space the floor. And that's why Mulder's starting, because he's a shooter. If he gets off to a good start, then it's a big deal for them. If he doesn't, then where do they go? So it's going to be a challenge anyway. I'm surprised Denver is playing as well as they have, despite losing Jamal Murray. But at this stage, at the rate they're going, it's going to be quite a challenge for the Warriors tonight with their diminished roster.
And the Nuggets coming in, winning 12 of their last 14. Of course, the 2 losses were against Boston and the Warriors on back-to-back nights when Steph Curry dropped 53 on a historic night. Monty, thanks so much. Enjoy the game tonight at Chase Center. And look, still ahead, we're going to talk about Kelly Oubre Jr., who remains on the bench behind Michael Mulder. We'll discuss whether or not that's the best role for him moving forward. But first, let's talk about Jordan Poole, who ever since he came from the G League or got called back up from the G League, Willie and Darrell, he's averaged 15 points per game, but now more than ever it feels like they need that consistent 15 to 20 points from Jordan Poole.
Yeah, and I think what's probably as important is his playmaking ability with that second unit, because you want to be able to play the same style of play when the subs come in, and Jordan Poole's ability to knock down threes is a big-time weapon. But with that second unit, along with Andrew Wiggins, it's very important to get that unit organized so they're not over-dribbling and playing too much one-on-one basketball, Darrell.
Yeah, and I think he's really putting his footprint in the league, you know, showing guys that I can score, I can start, and I can come off the bench. So definitely a future starter, but I think he's been playing some great basketball. He's keeping it simple. He's not over-dribbling the ball. He's getting by his man, and like Mully said, he's being a playmaker at the same time.
It's really important for him to use that dynamic three-point shooting to open up the rest of his game. Because now on the scouting report, they know he's a big-time shooter. But I think when he puts that head fake, 1, 2, or 3 dribbles, and collapses the defense. He's a really, really good passer. I think he's an underrated playmaker.
And he's an underrated finisher as well. We've seen him finish at the basket once those threes start dropping. So with the second unit, you just heard from Monty, we may see GP2 tonight. What's the positives with GP2? Because we know he was the G League Defensive Player of the Year, and he was twice the Pac-12 Player of the Year when it came to defense here. GP2, what about his new role now as minutes are available for him?
I would love to see GP2 out there. He brings defense, he hangs his hat on defense, and he's going to make the other team's point guard uncomfortable. He's going to pick up 94 feet, he's going to turn them, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get a lot of steals, just like we've seen Big GP do for a lot of years. But this is a great opportunity for him to get out there, get some positive minutes, and show Coach Kerr down the stretch, you could definitely depend on me.
He's a big-time competitor. This is his opportunity. He's going to seize the moment. He's a very strong, athletic defender. And you heard Steve Kerr say previously, my assistant coaches told me, you're going to have a hard time taking him off the court because he's that impactful on the defensive end.
No doubt. GP2, maybe a little Nico Mannion. We'll see. The bench has gotten short here with Bazemore and Damian Lee out, and plus Pascal. He's still out as well. But how do the Warriors defend that guy? That is priority number one, the MVP candidate, Jokić. How will the Warriors deal with him after seeing him 12 days ago? We'll talk about that right here on Warriors Pregame Live.
Warriors Pregame Live is brought to you by Sun Joe SPX 3000 Extreme. Win the war on grime. America's #1 pressure washer. We've got you covered.
His shot decision. Oh, Wiseman spikes it. The front court. Draymond finds him another three. 62! 62!
Stay up to date with all your Warriors coverage with Dubs Talk. Hosted by Grant Liffman and Kendra Andrews. Part of the NBC Sports Podcast Network.
Ladies and gents, it's time to play a little pick and roll, the newest free-to-play game on the NBC Predictor app powered by PointsBet. You can download the app right now by scanning the QR code on your screen. 2 free games per week with cash prizes up to $50,000. Just answer the questions correctly, and you could win $50,000. All right, let's get this party started. We didn't have a good night the other day, 2 for 8, but the experts like to bounce back. They always bounce back during their NBA career. Some of these games are already in progress. So, Darrell, we know Trae Young's not playing. He's out a couple times. We got your boy Dame Dallas, CJ, Jason Tatum, Julius Randle. Who's going to score the most points tonight?
I'm going to have to go with Jason Tatum playing against Charlotte tonight. Definitely got to pick Tatum.
All right, Will, and who you got here? Most rebounds by a player. Embiid's having a monster year. Vucevic, Robert Williams, Cantor. Who's going to grab the most rebounds?
Capella.
All right, you going Capella? I like that move right there. All right. Points versus the Hawks. Sixers, Darrell. How many will the Sixers score against Atlanta?
Let's take that 112-117.
All right, Atlanta doesn't play a lot of defense here. Bulls points versus the Knicks, Willie.
Stingy. Let's go 101-105.
Like that. Thibodeau's squad is playing some great defense there. Total threes between the Hornets and the Celtics, Darrell.
20-21.
Ooh, okay. Bob's away.
10 apiece.
Blazers assists versus the Grizzlies, Willie.
I'm going to go, what's on there? 23-24.
All right, I like that. A lot of dimes here. Hawks, Sixers, who's going to win, Darrell?
Got to go with the Sixers, no Trae Young.
No doubt about that. Top team in the Eastern Conference. Good pick there. Margin of victory for the Sixers, Willie?
Let's go 7-9.
7-9, all right, close game there. Hornets, Celtics.
Yeah,
the C's are playing a lot better basketball. Kemba Walker had a monster night the other day. Mully, how much will they win by?
Let's go 7-8.
All right, over the Hornets without LaMelo Ball, of course, battling for that play-in spot. And that is a wrap. The picks here by the experts. Let's see if they could do a lot better than the other night and help you win $50,000. Download the app right now. Go win yourself some free money. $50,000 on the line. Have at it.
This Sportsnet Central update is presented by Atlantis Casino Resort Spa Reno.
Anthony Davis is back for the LA Lakers, and now the Dallas Mavericks have to see how long they might be without their big man, Kristaps Porzingis. Luka did score 30, and that's what you see AD here posting up. He looked like AD, Darrell. AD looked like AD. You see Luka here going up and under there to the basket. He had 30 points, leading the Mavericks to a 115-110 victory over the Lakers, as Davis was rusty after missing 30 games with a right calf and heel issue. Longest absence of the 8-time All-Star's career. But the Lakers are getting healthy there. As you see, they're in the middle of the pack as a 5 seed. Dallas, fellas, seems like they have a tight grip on that number 7 seed right there. 3.5 up on the Warriors there, as the Warriors are in the 10th spot, half game behind the San Antonio Spurs, and 1 game out of the Memphis Grizzlies here. As we check out the schedule of these teams here, we'll do that a little bit later. That's still to come, just how far up the standings the Warriors can really go, and we'll compare all the schedules with San Antonio, Memphis, and the Golden State Warriors here. But Dallas, how do they look to you? Because something's off with them. And we talked about this the other night. Seth Curry going to Philadelphia. They lost DeLon Wright. He was with Detroit, now in Sacramento. Something's off with the Dallas Mavericks, Mully.
Well, I think coming out of the bubble, they played so well. I think this year more than ever, with this condensed schedule, we've had a lot of soft tissue injuries, guys in and out of the lineup because of COVID protocols. I think when you get towards the end of the regular season, getting into that first round in the play-in tournament, it's really how you're playing at that point in time. Of course, health is going to be a big factor. But if you're playing a good brand of basketball, as the Warriors are, to me, the standings don't matter as much in the playoffs this year either. You're not going to have full houses, maybe later in the playoffs, maybe. But so that the home court advantage has been decreased. So you look at the Lakers last night, they broke in Anthony Davis, gave him 15 minutes in the first half just to get his timing back. LeBron will be back soon. So I think all these teams are just gearing up to get healthy and try and find their rhythm going into the playoffs.
Darrell, for the Warriors, how important is it to get to 8 there? Because it does seem like they match up really well with the Dallas Mavericks.
I think it's super important just to give, a little more comfort as well to get to that 8 seed. You don't have to play those 2 games. So I think it's super important. I think they match up very well with the Dallas Mavericks. We've seen that multiple times, that they can really match up with those guys and beat them. So it'd be interesting to see those 2 guys going at it.
High-scoring affairs in Dallas.
Absolutely. That back-to-back was incredible.
Yes.
And that's when we saw, not by design, but the small lineup really started to take form, and that's what they have now. But even with the Warriors now, when you play small, you need some depth. And now with Damian Lee and Kent Bazemore out, so again, we're looking forward again to getting whole first and foremost, and then get back to that small ball rhythm.
Again, still to come later in the program, we'll look at the Memphis, San Antonio Spurs, and the Golden State Warriors schedule and see how far the Warriors can really go in the Western Conference standings. But first, let's turn our attention to the Denver Nuggets and look at their starting lineups presented by our good friends at Ford. And, of course, Jamal Murray tore his ACL late in the game against the Golden State Warriors back on April 12th. He's out for the season. Get well, Murray. But Campazzo, who motivated Steph Curry in that last one, he'll get to start. Will Barton, we know he is up and down, but he will get them shots up. No doubt about it. He has no conscience. And newly acquired Aaron Gordon. Let's hear from the head coach of the Denver Nuggets, Mike Malone, on all the MVP chatter.
Earlier this week, Steph Curry said that he was the MVP this year. I think he is now one of 4 guys who have claimed that they are the MVP of the season. How much do you enjoy the fact that Nikola is an anti-stumper and will not campaign for himself in the MVP race?
I mean, ultimately, you have to be true to yourself, and that's just who Nikola is. He's not going to go out there and pound his chest. He's not going to go out there and tweet and Instagram and Snapchat all of his stats. It's not in his nature. And obviously, Steph, he had a historical run, great player. There's a lot of guys that, understandably so, think that they're MVPs of the season. It's going to be a hell of a race these last couple of weeks to see who winds up winning it. Obviously, I speak for everybody in Nuggets Nation. We have a very high opinion of Nikola Jokić, and if he doesn't want to pound his chest, we're all going to do it for him. So, but hey, Steph is a great player. He dropped 53 on us last time, and the stretch he had of 30-plus point games and the efficiency in which he did it was truly remarkable.
You just heard Mike Malone there backing up his guy saying, hey, he's not going out there on Instagram or these podcasts pumping his chest up for the MVP. But it is a tight race, and you got to give Jokić credit, averaging nearly a triple-double, Darrell.
Yeah, he's playing some great basketball. He's one of those unicorn big men who can do a little bit of everything. He makes guys around him better, so you got to give him his respect. He's been playing a great game. Been having a great season. Hasn't missed a game all year, so got to give him his respect because he's been playing great.
Jokić is a big-time player, obviously. He's a superstar, and he's a legitimate MVP candidate along with Steph and Embiid. And all three of those guys are well-deserving. We have a bunch of games left. We'll see what happens as it winds down. But the Joker, like you said, he's almost averaged a triple-double. He makes all his teammates around him better, and he's having a historic season as well.
Yeah, let's give a little credit, courtesy of our great friends at Provident Credit Union. Looking at the numbers here, and you see the numbers, nearly a triple-double. It's just ridiculous. 58% from the field. But how about this for the big? He's shooting 41% from the three-point line, which makes him a three-level scorer and that much dangerous. And he's leading his team as a top 4 team in the Western Conference after a deep run in the bubble. You can't argue with those numbers, man. Those are prime-time numbers right there.
Those offensive numbers are staggering. But to me, what really sets him apart is his passing. And to try and defend Jokić, he can operate anywhere on the floor. So you can try to contain him and make it tough on him. The Warriors did a great job last time they played him. They played small. Draymond and Looney did a wonderful job. More importantly, they played great team defense. Packing the paint, always making crowds around Jokić, and having active hands, Darrell.
Yes, Malik. It's important to show Jokić bodies every time he touches the ball. Right here, playing up top, a little short roll. And then right here, you see wall of guys. You see Nico coming in and getting the steal as well.
All defensive coaches would tell you at any level, a good man-to-man looks like a zone, and a good zone looks like a man-to-man. Here, off the ball, the weak side's pulled in Wiggins and Steph. 3 guys crowding Jokić. Once again, active hands. It looks like a zone, but they're in man. The weak side's pulled over. Here, just great hands by Draymond to deflect the pass. And all these turnovers, most importantly, put the Warriors in the open floor.
And they had a big third quarter in that one. 43 points they scored against the Nuggets, and partly due to the small ball. So is that the way to go, the flustered Jokić? He put up his numbers, but he had to work for his numbers. Is small ball the way to go when you want to defend Jokić?
I think it is. What you can do, you can get up. Let's say Draymond's guarding Jokić, and Jokić is up on the top of the floor. He sees the whole floor. Draymond can get him, pressure him, make him put it down, and make it uncomfortable for him. Then Mike Malone will probably put him in the post. Now you have the ability to come double when you want to. You can come on catch. You can come on first or second dribble. You can come from the top, come from the baseline. Keep him guessing, give him different looks. Without Jamal Murray, similar to Embiid, doesn't have his running mate. Is he as confident in those role players as he will be with Jamal Murray?
And you seen Bonte on that one play with Bazemore. He's getting into his legs. No big man loves little guys all on their legs. So I thought they did a great job with doubling him when he turned his back. Up top of the key, they made Wall, so they made Aaron Gordon and these other guys that are not three-point shooters. And I think the best way of guarding him is just making him a shooter, because when he's a playmaker, it's a can of worms.
No doubt about that. Jokić and the Warriors tonight, they beat the Nuggets a couple weeks ago. GP. He sings the praises of Steph Curry, but it may not be what you're expecting, and why his son may see some more playing time in the near future. We'll discuss here on Warriors Pregame Live.
Warriors Pregame Live is brought to you by the Bay Area BMW Centers. Take advantage of exceptional offers today.
The fans are making their first appearance at Chase Center tonight, the first time in 409 days. Just how much have the Warriors missed, Dub Nation? We know the Tsunami Poppy feeds off the crowd energy coming off of one of his strongest performances of the season Wednesday night against the Wizards. 24 points, 9 rebounds, a very solid game played, nearly 37 minutes. But here's what Oubre had to say to reporters after Wednesday's tough loss.
I'm just here to help this team win. So, whatever I can do to, help this team, that's what I'm going to do.
Does it change anything for you approach-wise when you're a bench guy?
It's just staying ready so you don't have to get ready.
Steve said that he had a conversation with you when you got back about the role that you'd be playing now. Did he tell you anything specific that he wanted to see from you, what you could bring to that kind of second unit role?
No.
Tsunami Poppy? More like Spicy Poppy. He didn't seem too pleased. Or maybe it was a tough loss where the Warriors blew an 11-point lead with 5:53 left in that one. Darrell, what's the better role for Oubre on this team moving forward, just for this season? Is it playing as a starter or helping out this bench, especially without Kent Bazemore and Damian Lee?
When you look at this lineup right now with those two guys, Bazemore and Lee out, I think he's great coming off that bench because he's going to provide scoring. He's going to provide rebound and athleticism. So with those two guys, I definitely like him with that second unit. He's been showing, the last two games that he can really take on that role and be that main guy.
Yeah, Kelly Oubre just needs to be himself, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. Last game he played 37 minutes, had 24 points, 9 rebounds. That's the effort we're going to need from him tonight, and probably similar 35 to 37 minutes. So at the end of the night, when you look at the stat sheet, it's going to look like a starter.
Right.
And I think it makes sense, as Darrell said, with Damian Lee and Kent Bazemore out, putting Michael Mulder in there with Steph Curry, a knockdown shooter, who he needs offense created for him. Kelly Oubre can create his own offense. We've seen that. So in the short term, I think it makes total sense.
All right, it's time to find your edge here, presented by Atlantis Casino Resort Spa in Reno. Dubs are 2.5-point underdogs tonight with the over-under set at 227.5. Of course, the over is hit almost 63% of the time when the Nuggets are favorites. Warriors just 41% against the spread as an underdog. And for more information like this, as always, check out NBCSportsEdge.com. Let's hear what Steve Kerr has to say about the return of the fans at Chase Center.
Steve, the blue tarps are off behind your bench, and a few fans have trickled in, and there's just already a little bit of a buzz out here. That's kind of fun. Are you? Have you been out to the court yet, or are you pretty eager to come out here and feel that vibe?
I'm so excited for tonight, Jeannie. This has been a long time coming, and we have felt this on the road a little bit. We've played in, I think, 5 or 6 arenas now that have had fans, and we've been dying for our fans to be able to come into the building. So this is a great night. Good sign of what's to come. Obviously, we have to start slowly, and I think there'll be about 2,000 fans tonight, from what I gather, and hopefully this will go smoothly. But we all are so excited to just feel the energy that the fans are going to bring.
And we talked about the fans being back at the stadium as we take a look at the starting lineups presented by Ford. And as we just discussed, Michael Mulder getting to start next to Steph Curry. Of course, Loon's been held down to 5 there. Draymond and Wiggins. Wiggins has played every single game this season, has a team high 56 block shots on the season here. But Mulder getting to start against a top team, dynamic offensive team here. But defensively, the Nuggets will try to pick on him. But as Mully just said, Darrell, Mulder should see a ton of wide open shots. This could be a game that gets him moving forward because he's been in a deep slump over the last 2 months.
Yeah, but I think every time he had positive minutes, he was always a good player out there. He always played well. He knocked down open shots. You can count on him. So I know Coach Kerr knows that, and that's why he's going with him tonight. But he's a high IQ guy. He doesn't have many mistakes on the defensive end. He's a good team defender. So I can see him fitting in well with this starting unit and knocking down open shots.
Last time the Warriors played the Nuggets, Steph Curry got 53 points. They're going to be doubling him early. The ball is probably going to wind up in Draymond's hands. He's going to make the decision. Michael Mulder needs to be decisive and shot ready and catch and shoot with confidence.
Draymond Green last time out against the Nuggets, 18.7 rebounds, 7 assists. How much more does he have to score moving forward with Bazemore and Lee out, Darrell?
Got to be aggressive, same way. And that was a big reason why they won that game. And also the 4 steals. He did a great job on defense, but he has to be aggressive every single night. And tonight, with most of these guys that's bringing scoring are out, he has to take those threes around the perimeter, has to take those, has to get in the paint like he did against the Wizards as well.
I think play a typical well-balanced Draymond Green game. Maybe be a little more aggressive offensively because of the firepower that's not in the lineup tonight. But I'll take a triple-double from Draymond tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. 15 points at least. Come on, give it to us, Draymond Green. As we go to a connection here, every connection counts courtesy of Comcast Business. And we're connecting with GP. And we'll tell you why in just a second as you look at his career resume. Of course, he's a Hall of Famer, steals leader, DPOY, 9-time All-Star. Their resume, look at that, 2-time gold medal winner in 96 and 2000. And he loves to talk with something we're going to play in full on Sunday. The right corner, Darrell Wright, sat down with GP. Here's a little snippet on what GP had to say about Steph Curry.
Hey, Steph Curry recently just went on a crazy run. 11 straight games of 30 points. Where do you rank Steph Curry all-time point guards?
Well, Darrell, that's a big question to me. You know, I don't like ranking people. So with Curry, I really don't think Curry is a point guard. You got to understand that to me. He's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. He's a scorer. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be an all-time assist, top 10 or top 5 or whatever? No, I don't think so. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? But as you look at it, do Curry handles the ball all the time for the Golden State Warriors? No, he doesn't. He doesn't handle the ball all the time. He's coming off screens. Draymond Green handles the ball for you guys most of the time to get him involved and get him shots off. So to me, he's not a point guard. He's a 2 guard.
GP, the forever talkative GP, don't miss that Sunday. The right corner with Gary Payton. Darrell Wright sat down with his former teammate in Miami. That classic signing jersey right there. Of course, you can catch it on the website, NBCSportsBayArea.com or Warriors pre- and post-game live on Sunday before the Warriors take on the Sacramento Kings. And GP, we've heard this before from people. Steph Curry, not a point guard. What is he? You agree with your boy GP, Bully? What's going on here with GP and Steph Curry and to talk about Steph Curry not being a point guard?
Yeah, I think this year Steph has played more as a 2 guard, but it's a unique combination of he and Draymond, right? There's not many guards in the history of the game, none like Steph, that is as effective with the ball and he is without the ball. So that's the luxury that the Warriors have. He can play both spots. Gary Payton is very decisive, right? Let me tell you something. Gary Payton was one of the greatest all-time two-way players ever in the NBA. Big time player. I love Gary Payton.
And you was able to get to Gary Payton. You know your former teammate, Darrell. He can talk. Give us a little snippet of what's coming up on Sunday. What else did you guys talk about there outside of Steph Curry and the combination of him being a 2 or a point guard?
Well, one thing I got to say, GP is one of my, closest teammates, one guy that I really respect a lot. And we really got a chance to talk about GP too. What he sees in him that he saw in his own game. So he really touched on a lot of stuff, how he holds his hat on the defensive end, how he's a great kid, and how all his teams love him. So that's always good to hear. And he really looking forward to him getting the opportunity to go out there and show all he can do.
GP too may get that opportunity tonight to get some different Nuggets. There was minutes out there. And the last time they played the Nuggets, Darrell, you highlighted into the first half. He guarded Jamal Murray the length of the court and did a great job keeping his hands up and not fouling. We saw Saturday night against Boston getting big third quarter minutes. He does have some of those traits like his pops.
Just like his dad. His hands are so strong. He knows how to
manipulate.
There you go. He knows how to tell the defense offense where he wants to go. He turns guys. He gets his hands on a lot of loose balls as well.
No doubt.
Physical, strong defender, just like GP won. And, I think he's going to get a chance tonight. Good opportunity for him tonight.
Can't wait for that interview because GP can talk, man. Whether it's coaching in the Big 3 in the NBA, Gary Payton with the microphone in front of his face. You can't get him to stop talking, so that should be fun. On Sunday, will Steph Curry start another ridiculous scoring streak tonight for the fans at Chase Center? Oh, we got the haircut, the fade. We're going to discuss that next on Warriors Pregame Live.
Warriors Pregame Live is presented by Comcast Business, keeping you and your business connected.